This past Tuesday, a report was released by the Vatican that shows how the ex-Cardinal Theodore McCarrick was able to manipulate church leadership and sexually abuse young men. About 2 years ago, Pope Francis stripped Mr. McCarrick of his titles and faculties. He was a cardinal in the church and the former Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. The publishing of this report is groundbreaking because it's the first time ever that the church has pulled back the curtain and shown how decisions are made about leadership. Now, as painful as it is to read the 461-page document, it's necessary. Because the only way that we can stop corruption is to look it square in the eye and say no more. So I wanted to share with you a few thoughts on the report. First, it becomes clear that the problem with Mr. McCarrick wasn't his promise to celibacy nor his sexuality. The breaking of his promise to be chaste is done by men and women who are married and single every day. Celibacy does not make him or anyone a rapist or sexual assaulter. The fact that he's homosexual has nothing to do with his crimes either. Who you're attracted to doesn't make you hurt people more than those who are attracted to other genders, right? And so Mr. McCarrick also isn't a pedophile. All of his victims were post-pubescent men. So if celibacy is not the problem and his sexual attraction isn't the problem, what caused his abuse? I would argue his grave sense of entitlement and his pride. Shame on him for believing that people owed him something. Shame on him for being an abusive father to his spiritual children and even his own priests. Shame on the church leaders for their incompetence, and absolutely shame on those who allowed this to happen and even helped him cover up his crimes. Finally, please know that I share in your anger and pain. While I am thrilled that this report was released and that this awful man has been justly removed from the clerical state, more work still needs to be done. I'm sure that Mr. McCarrick rewarded priests who helped him cover up his crimes by helping them become bishops who need to be removed. I know that there are more corrupt leaders in the church who need to be removed. But this report being released is a good start. If you decide to read the report, and I do recommend if you want to read anything, read the report. Don't read articles that are written by people, then you just get their understanding of the report and form your own conscience on it. The first 10 pages, it's very long, so you don't want to read the whole thing. The first 10 pages is kind of like an executive summary. It kind of bullet points out the details of what's in there. So if you decide to read that, please remember that while horrible men like Mr. McCarrick exist in the church, we also have men like St. Oscar Romero, who used his power as an archbishop to stand up for the rights of his people, even when corrupt church leadership tried convincing him to do otherwise. We have men like the newly blessed Michael McGivney, who used his priesthood to take care of widows and orphans. We have leaders like Blessed Stanley Rother, a priest from Oklahoma, who served to his martyrdom in Guatemala, protecting his people from their own corrupt government. We need to remember this balance when our justified anger boils up at the crimes of men like Mr. McCarrick. So please know that here at St. Edward, we do not tolerate any sexual abuse, both of children and of adults, as many of you know from our own recent history this past year. We are 100% transparent, and we work hard to make sure that everyone has the proper training and background checks. Safety is our number one priority, not just with pandemics, but in general, everyone's safety is our priority. If you ever have an issue or a problem, or if you feel uncomfortable in the slightest way, please tell me. If you don't feel comfortable coming to me, go to any of our staff members. If you don't feel comfortable coming to any of us, go to the Archdiocese. On our parish website, we have a link to the Office of the Protection of Children and Youth. They can also help you if you feel abused as an adult. It's not just for child abuse. They can direct you to whoever you need help with. Please go to them. I want everyone who comes into church, not just our church, but in the global church, I want everyone to feel safe, protected, and peaceful. Thank you.